What should Packers fans expect in trade compensation if Aaron Rodgers is traded to the New York Jets? Some people might think, there's a big haul coming in, multiple first round picks, some players maybe, things like that. He's not Russell Wilson, granted that didn't turn out so well, and he's not Matthew Stafford. He is a little bit longer in the tooth, 39 years old. He'll play at 40 this year at some point. And the clock's ticking. He still can play. I don't doubt that for a second. But is he going to be there? 2, 3 years down the line. That's a serious commitment to send off a couple, 2, 3, first round picks or something for Aaron Rodgers if he's there for 1, maybe 2 seasons. Secondly, he is owed $60 million. That doesn't sound so bad when you consider, next 4 years, Daniel Jones is going to be making $40 million a year, and, he ain't no Aaron Rodgers. But, the other thing to think about is the base salary on that $60 million this year is pretty manageable. Like 1.145 million, I think, is the number. And the rest of that is signing bonus, or roster bonuses, rather. So it's not as much a salary cap thing as it is just cash kind of thing. So if that's able to be prorated over 4 years, which I believe is the case, I think that's a little bit more manageable for the New York Jets to pay out. And I think Woody Johnson would want him enough to be able to kind of foot the bill on that. Other than that, though, is Rodgers committed? That's the real question. Is he going to be there for those 2 or 3, maybe 4 years? I'm sure he, thinks he can play for that much longer, but does he want to? I mean, he's been kind of, willy won't-y for the last 2 or 3 years now. So will he or won't he? Plus, just imagine, how would you feel as a Packers fan if Aaron Rodgers goes all in? He commits to the Jets. He shows up to voluntary workouts, spends time and builds that rapport and trust and timing with his receivers over there. When he wasn't willing to do all that with Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, all those guys last year, that would be a real slap in the face, I feel like. But it might happen. That's kind of what would have to happen, and I'm sure that's part of what the Jets are trying to figure out when they, fly the brain trust out there to meet with him for dinner. Is he willing to do all those things? And what does Aaron want out of this things? If he's allegedly willing to go to New York, what are his stipulations? Does he want some of his guys brought in? Many say like Mercedes Lewis is one guy that he wants to come with him. Allen Lazard would probably be another. And then obviously everybody knows he wants Randall Cobb wherever he goes. Some of those things might be workable for the Jets, but what do they really need to make this kind of deal go through? I don't think like a first round pick is off the table. I think the Jets could trade the 13th pick to the Green Bay and maybe even throw on like a player or a conditional pick depending on how long he plays for the Jets, kind of thing. Some players that I might consider, it's said that they're looking to cut Corey Davis. Maybe they just offload him to the Packers and it's kind of like a trial run. He's a similar body type to Allen Lazard, so if they are considering, they might lose him. Maybe they bring in that big body receiver in Corey Davis, give it a try, and then if they don't like it, kick him to the curb and they take the dead cap rather than the Jets. Or maybe Elijah Moore. I think they liked him in the draft a couple years ago. He's that kind of, he fits what we need in the Packers offense right now versus before, like we kind of banked on trying to get some guys, like Amari Rodgers didn't really pan out, didn't quite have the juice that we thought he might have in the slot. And those are kind of, the puzzle pieces we need to make that offense work. But, who knows? We'll, I guess, wait and see what Aaron Rodgers has for us coming up.